Hello everybody from Manchester Piccadilly Station. I am at the upstairs concourse. Figured I'd find a quieter place in the station to start recording this travel wear video. A little bit of a different trip for me. So this was, I wouldn't say a last minute trip, but it certainly was in the past 6 weeks because of the calling of the general election. And I came over primarily just to vote, but also to coordinate it with seeing my friends that I do my annual trip to the UK. This is an interesting case because being a British citizen, I'm eligible to vote in the election. Having lived here twice, having spent a lot of time here, I thought it was my duty to come and vote. Having seen the impacts of the past governments on most of my friends, and even the impacts on me. Even though I live in Canada, I have actually lost benefits because of some of the policies over the past 14 years. And it's something that I'm passionate about. In fact, I never thought my inner politic would ever come out, and it's really come out in a big way with my time over here in the UK. So one of the things that I want to talk about on this video is the importance of being able to vote in the countries that you're eligible to vote in. I'm eligible to vote in the UK and Canada, and that's in perpetuity. In the UK, if you're a citizen, you're allowed to register and vote. You will see the links down below in the description of the video. For those friends of mine who have citizenship with the United States, living abroad, dual citizenship, living abroad, etc., you too are eligible to vote, and I'll have links to that website for registering as well. And also for Canadians, any Canadian who is a Canadian citizen who has lived in Canada is also eligible to vote. So those are 3 countries that I'm going to provide details for. I am going to look up a few other countries that are close to my heart as well. Friends who I know are quite interested in politics in those countries as well, and see what I can collect. If you feel an affiliation with those particular countries, I highly recommend you register and vote. Whatever, wherever you are in the spectrum, register to vote. Now, as a British citizen, I didn't have to come and visit the UK and vote. I just chose to, just because of the importance of, for me, the importance of this particular vote. So in 2019, when I lived here, I was able to actually register with the West Berkshire Council in Newbury and registered to vote, and I voted in the 2019 election, and I've kept my registrations up to date. They actually email me every year. I sign a piece of paper, I email the PDF copy back, and I'm registered. And it was interesting showing up at the polling station, which was outside of Newbury. I was on the other list because I was unique and special, according to the polling folks. So yeah, it was interesting actually going through that experience as an overseas voter. And I had thought it was only eligible for 15 years, but it seems like with the last election, and thank you, Darren, for guiding me on this particular journey for 5 years now, especially in 2019 when I was asking a whole bunch of questions about am I eligible to vote, how do I register, and stuff like that, and we got it done. So again, thanks, Darren, for correcting me, thinking I only had it eligible for 15 years. Apparently it's in perpetuity now, so I will be back to vote, whether it's I actually come on a trip. It's a good excuse for me to spend some time in the south, in London and the north, and also I can actually do it by mail, or I can actually have someone be a proxy vote for me, so vote on my behalf. So I booked my ticket with Air Canada. I actually flew on Aeroplan points, Toronto to London Heathrow. I then spent the day in London and got a train out to Newbury, where I stayed at my usual Hilton DoubleTree out there, and then used AVCABs to go up to Cheveley where I vote, and then back to the hotel, and then back to the train station to then take the train up to Glasgow. I spent overnight in Glasgow seeing some friends, and then back down to Manchester for 48 hours. 48 hours? Yeah, I think so. A little more than 48 hours. Well, actually about that. Anyway, so back down to Manchester, and then heading back down to the south by Avanti on the West Coast Main Line, I think, to get back to Hounslow, where my hotel is. So it was a very quick trip. I don't like normally doing these quick trips. I actually got sick when I arrived in Manchester. I was probably a little dehydrated, and I certainly wasn't drinking as much water as I normally do. So that's my tip of the week, is definitely when you're traveling, make sure you're well hydrated and taking care of yourself. And thanks to Rob and Joshy for taking care of me here in Manchester. So yeah, it was a very quick trip. It's had me very emotional. At times, I'm very glad at the change in government and the changes that I'm seeing brought in by the Labour Party here. I'm tend not to try and be partisan on this channel, but that is, that's all I'm going to say around that. Just very pleased about the changes that I've seen that are potential for this country and for my friends who have been deeply hurt by the previous 14 years of the government that's been in power. All right, so thank you very much to everybody here in the UK who's taking care of me. I'll be back in a year.